Hello and welcome to Docual. My name is Riley, and today we will be covering the fatal shooting of Chad Oulson at the hands of Curtis Reeves Jr. As always, if you enjoy our content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, which helps us out a lot. Curtis Reeves Jr. worked as a homicide detective and captain during his time at the Tampa Police Department, up until his retirement in 1993. Before joining the police force, he served in the Navy from 1961 to 1963 and as a truck driver following his honorable discharge. During his time on the Tampa Police Force, he received outstanding evaluations and commendations for leadership and gun safety, amongst other topics. Once, he was even praised by George H.W. Bush for leading the tactical response team in 1987. One supervisor commented that he was always calm in stressful situations. Captain Reeves not only has the ability to act decisively when necessary, but has the foresight to initiate the proper course of action to avoid conflict. This came after he helped to establish the Tampa Police Department's first tactical response team. Following his retirement, he worked security at Busch Gardens and served on the Crime Stoppers Board of Hernando County. However, Curtis wasn't always a glowing police officer. In 1968, he was reprimanded for handling a city weapon carelessly. A supervisor commented that Reeves has a tendency to be impatient in regards to legal matters and practices now in force, and he may be abrupt with complaints in some areas of the city. In 1967, Curtis married Vivian Reeves, and they had 2 children, one of which followed in his father's footsteps, becoming a Tampa police officer. In about 2004, Curtis and Vivian moved into a rural subdivision in the Hernando County. Neighbors commented that the couple was friendly and often attended house parties or enjoyed their time outdoors, riding their motorcycle. Chad Oulson was a retired Gulf War veteran. He had served in the U.S. Navy from 1990 to 1997 as a petty officer, second class. In 2006, he married Nicole Oulson, and the two moved to Florida in 2011, where he started working with something he loved, motorsports and off-road vehicles at Sky Power Sports. A year after moving, they had added a little girl to the family, Alexis. Chad adored Alexis, and everyone regarded him as a great father. "With Lexi, you just saw the sparkle in his eye," one friend commented. He was often seen in the community pool playing with her and her friends. And when a friend, Aaron Melvin, was expecting his first child, Chad said, "You're gonna love this." One friend described him as genuine, funny, and the kind of guy who would give you the shirt off his back. A neighbor, Saviero Mangeli, said that although him and Chad were different people with different interests, Chad was always there and willing to talk. He really filled a void in our lives. On January 13th, 2014, Chad, Nicole, Curtis, and Vivian were all present at the movies to see The Lone Survivor. Chad and Nicole had left their 22-month-old daughter with a babysitter and were enjoying a rare day out together. Nicole had even called out sick that day just so they could get some time together. As they went in the theater, they sat in front of Curtis and Vivian, settling down for the previews. It was at this time Chad received a text message from the couple's babysitter, telling them that Alexis wasn't feeling well. Chad continued to correspond with the babysitter, seeing if they had to cut their day out short to go and get their daughter. Curtis did not like this, and some suggested he was getting quite agitated, going so far as to kick the seat in front of him. He proceeded to tell Chad to stop texting, which he did not, and continued to text. This prompted Curtis to leave the theater to report Chad's behavior to management. Upon his return, Chad asked him if he had gone to report him, prompting an argument to start up between the two. As it escalated, Chad threw his popcorn at Curtis, angered by his actions. At this point, Curtis quickly drew his weapon, and Nicole moved to protect her husband. Both were shot in this moment, with the bullet traveling through Nicole's finger and into Chad's chest. Chad remarked, "I can't believe I've been shot," before he collapsed. Another patron, Alan Hamilton, remembers hearing Vivian say to her husband, "That was no cause to shoot anyone." Curtis responded, "Shut your Mouth and don't say another word." Curtis proceeded to calmly sit back down, place the gun in his lap, and wait for the events that would follow. Upon police arrival, Curtis was immediately arrested and brought to the station. Chad was pronounced dead at the hospital, leaving behind his wife and young daughter. Between 2014 and 2017, Curtis's lawyers argued to use Florida's Stand Your Ground law in defense of him. And in 2017, this would be denied by a judge. However, later this determination would be overturned. Between 2014 and 2022, Curtis was under house arrest as his trial played out. He was being accused of second-degree murder and aggravated battery for the January 2014 shooting. During the trials, Curtis stated that he was the most afraid he had ever been during the incident. However, other officers stated that his experience in law enforcement should have left him better prepared and knowing that he should not use lethal force in a situation like this. Adding to this, that when officers arrived on the scene, Curtis was extremely calm, not reminding them of a person who was afraid for his life minutes before. In February 2022, approximately 8 years after the shooting, Curtis was acquitted of all charges. After losing her husband, Nicole turned her grief into something that would help others if they were ever put in her or her daughter's position. The Oulson Family Foundation was started in 2022 and provides funds for children affected by gun violence, including counseling, medical attention, and a college tuition fund. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.